Na wao viongozi wao, we are coming after you. You cannot sponsor violence in the Republic of Kenya and expect to go scot-free. Sijui kama tunaelewana. Na mimi nataka niwaambie wa Kenya, mtu yeyote ambaye anaenda kupiga polisi, mtu yeyote anaenda kuvamia police station, that is a declaration of war in the Republic of Kenya.
Who is Kenya's real enemy? Ask the average Kenyan on the streets, especially the restless, fired up youths, and most will point an accusing finger squarely at President William Ruto. But for former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, the enemy is not just Ruto. It is bigger, darker, and more sinister. It is the National Intelligence Service, NIS itself, led by its boss Nordin Haji, an institution Gachagua now paints as the architect of Kenya's bloodiest nightmares.
Unbeknown to these peaceful demonstrators, the tired regime of Ruto had a well-organized state-sponsored militia in cohort with the police and other state security agencies to maim, kill and destroy property, and blame it on the Kikuyu community and specific leaders who are perceived unfriendly to this killer regime. This targeted profiling of the Kikuyu community and destruction of their specific business is an economic sabotage not new to the narrative of William Ruto. On the fative day, these state-sponsored militia, under instructions and guidance from the police, were dropped in different places in the country, and mostly in the Mount Kenya region and other regions not perceived friendly to the government.
Just days after the country was shaken to its core by the deadly SABA nationwide protest, where at least 31 people were reportedly slaughtered by police bullets, Gachagua has emerged guns blazing. This time, he's not even joking. According to him, a killer squad worked hand in glove with militias to unleash terror across the country during the SABA protest.
They were strategically dropped past midnight, and then roadblocks were placed by the police while others was dropped early in the morning. The militia were procured by Ruto, governors and MPs allied to him. These regions included Nairobi, Kiambu, Kajiado, Kisii, Nyeri, Murang'a, Kiambu, Kirinyaga, Meru, Nyandarua, Kajiado, Kitengela, Ongata-Rongai, Machakos, Embu, and in Wote. They had clear instructions to loot and destroy specific properties under police supervision.
Subaru 5 hizo za nafikiria 6 sasa, 7 magari aina ya Subaru 8 ambayo yamepita kufikia sasa, magari 8 aina ya Subaru.
But here's where it gets chilling. Gachagua claims these weren't just your usual DCI officers, the ones Kenyans are accustomed to seeing roaring through towns in Subaru Outbacks. This was something far more organized, more lethal. According to him, it was the NIS, highly trained operatives turned urban assassins, allegedly under presidential command. These men, he says, didn't just kill. They prowled Kenyan towns in their Subarus, faces hidden under balaclavas, fingers itchy on triggers, firing into crowds, spraying homes with bullets and tear gas as though they were purging enemy territory.
A killer squad of 101 that works under the Director General of the National Intelligence Service, Nordin Haji, was armed with assault rifles and drove in a convoy of unmarked Subarus, shooting and killing innocent protesters aimlessly in the streets and estates. This squad in Subarus, hooded and masked against court orders, are disguising themselves as DCI's officers, yet we know they are not. In fact, I would like to clarify that the National Intelligence Service has procured Subarus to give an impression that this killer gang is from the DCI. The truth of the matter is that this has nothing to do with the DCI. This is the National Intelligence Service. And this squad of 101 people was formed when I was still in government. Officers were recruited from the Administration Police Unit for special training by NIS on abductions, killings, and cover-up. And this is a squad that is killing the people of Kenya. The killings and the business destruction pattern point to William Ruto's ethnic profiling narrative, which he is a master with no rival. With a close coordination of PS Interior Raymond Omolo, this narrative was boosted online by state bloggers to spin a narrative.
His expose comes as reports trickle in of heavily armed squads, the Subaru convoys spotted in major towns that became flashpoints during the SABA protest. In Ngong alone, 3 peaceful protesters were sent to meet their ancestors. As Gachagua puts it grimly, their lives ended in an instant by these faceless men.
Guy! Shit! Ujo wameweka hii roadblock hapa.
Unaona shughuli ya kisiri nini tiagas.
By the end of the crackdown, the death toll stood at 31, according to the Kenya Human Rights Commission. But this isn't the first time Gachagua has pointed his accusatory finger at the NIS. Remember the Gen Z protests last year? Back then, he accused the agency of misleading Ruto on how Kenyans would react to the controversial Finance Bill 2024.
The people of Kenya did not want anything to do with the Finance Bill 2024. He would not have asked his parliamentary party to push it through. Yet, we have an organization paid by the public to give him and government such information. And that is where the problem is. We have a dysfunctional National Intelligence Service that has exposed the president, the government, and the people of Kenya. Had the National Intelligence Service briefed the president 2 months ago about how the people of Kenya feel about the Finance Bill 2024, so many Kenyans would not have died. Property would not have been destroyed. Offices would not have been touched. There would have been no mayhem.
1 year later, his tune hasn't changed. If anything, it has grown sharper. He now insists the NIS is playing the president like a puppet, manipulating power from the shadows.
Stop killing and profiling the young people. Listen to them. Stop abductions and extrajudicial killings. Abolish, disband the killer squad of 101 officers at Nurdin Haji.
The iron here is thick enough to choke on. Before Ruto rose to power, he campaigned as the ultimate savior from extrajudicial killings. He rallied against Uhuru Kenyatta's regime for allegedly running death squads, even claiming at one point that Uhuru was plotting to assassinate Ruto's children.
Nataka nimuombe rais wetu wa Kenya, tafadhali bwana rais, you shouldn't be the source of threats in Kenya. Wacha kutisha wa Kenya. Kazi yako ni kuhakikisha ya kwamba Wakenya wote wako salama. Wacha kutuambia ya kwamba tutakujua wewe ni rais. Sisi ndio tulikuchagua na tulikuchagua uwe rais wa Kenya. Wacha kututisha. Sisi hapana watu wa kutishwa. Please, amani aje my friend. Sasa eti wewe sasa unaanza kunithreaten mimi. Ati utanifanya nini? Bora usiue watoto wangu. Lakini mimi na wewe tafadhali tuheshimiane.
Back then, Ruto swore to Kenyans there would be no more bloodshed under his watch. Kenyans believed him. They voted for him. And true to his word, at first, he seemed to clean house.
For the avoidance of doubt, there will be no extrajudicial killings in the government of Kenya under my administration. Yeah, that is a chapter we must close and weld and bolt and put it behind us.
During his first weeks in office, he proudly announced the disbandment of the Special Service Unit, the DCI's notorious outfit accused of carrying out executions under Uhuru's watch.
Tumevunja
ile ilikuwa inaitwa special sijui nini ya police ambayo ilikuwa inaua Wakenya kiholela. That is the history we want to forget. Let our competitors not remind us of the many things they did against this country. We have also a plan on how to secure this country so that we avoid the shame of Kenyans killed through extrajudicial killings and put in Yala River and other rivers. We're going to secure this country going into the future. So I want to promise the people of Kenya that Kenya is on sound footing, and we have a plan that will take this country into the future.
Fast forward 3 years later, and the script feels eerily familiar. A new killer squad has emerged, gliding through towns in the same ominous Subarus, leaving behind trails of blood and grief. Even Gachagua, once a loyal lieutenant of the president, is now openly branding Ruto as vicious and bloody thirsty.
These state-sponsored militia were key in touching of various parts of the country with ease of police assistance to prefer terrorism charges on specific people from Mount Kenya region. So far, about 50 young people are in courts in trumped-up charges of terrorism in scenarios of state-managed crimes by the state. Again, this is a clear onslaught on the Kikuyu nation. Case in point, when a police station in Mawego in Homa Bay County was torched, the suspects for that particular crime have been charged with arson. But when a police station is alleged to have been torched in Kiambu, suspects from the Kikuyu nation are charged with terrorism charges. This is serious ethnic profiling. This divide and rule tactic will not work, Mr. Ruto.
The man who once promised to end extrajudicial killings is now accused of perfecting the same art. So back to the question, who is Kenya's biggest enemy? Is it President Ruto? Is it Nordin Haji and his intelligence machinery? Or is it the system itself, a hydra-headed monster that devours every promise of justice and spits out fire? What are your thoughts? Leave your thoughts on our comment section. That is it for now. Thanks for watching. Let's meet next time. Bye-bye.